Welcome back to another edition of Holding Court with Coach Jeff Nelson. I'm J.D. Healy, and Coach, I don't have to say welcome back from out of town because you were actually home.
Yeah.
Talk about that real quickly for a second. You were home last week. You'll be traveling this week, but then you're home for like 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we are. It was great to be home. We'd been on the road for 3 trips in a row, so it was great to just be at home, sleep in our own beds, be able to have a normal training week, which went really well. It was as solid of a training week as we've had since 2-a-days. I think it really helped elevate us and get us playing better. And but like you said, we have a long road trip this week, and then we're home for about 16, 17 days, which at this point in the season, when you're hitting the grind, couldn't be better. We're all really happy about that.
No doubt about it. This last week, to me, looked like we were watching Lobo volleyball that we're accustomed to seeing. It was a great, great week. Let's start off first with the match against Fresno State. This was a big match. Cassie House had 13 kills in this one. Tremendous performances by Sky Gillette and Simone Henderson, matching with kills and a lot of blocks. Great defense by this team.
Yeah, no, this week, that was a focus this week, and I thought we played much better floor defense. The blocked over 3-point in both matches, which is really good. But we picked up a lot of balls on defense and in both matches, and really raised our numbers on the defensive side. But that really contributed to what we were doing in our wins this week, and they were both really good wins. Fresno State was right with us. We moved ahead of them, and then UNLV was in second place, and we were able to bump them out of second place this week as well. And so, that defense played a big part in that, but it was a really good week.
Talk about that for a second. UNLV being moved out by the fact that you guys beat them on Saturday, but this Mountain West Conference is kind of doing this.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of balance. It is. Boise State keeps surviving. They're in second place right now, and then there's like 3 of us with 3 losses right behind them. But they keep winning these 5-game matches. They won 17-15 in the 5th on Saturday and just pulling it out. But that's how close it is. And we've got UNLV right there. We've got Wyoming right there, Boise State and us. And so real close, real exciting. Again, these were good wins for that reason. We've had a tough rivalry with both Fresno State and UNLV anyway, along with San Diego State. Those have been our matches that have always been kind of a grind, always gone long. The Fresno State match, the last 4 times we played them had gone 5. We were able to win in 3 this time, which was a great win and a huge relief, to be quite honest. It's we just, every time we play them, it's a long grind. We talked about that last week on the show, and to go out and really take charge and win in 3 was, I think, a big confidence booster.
No doubt about it. Enough so that you come back in on Saturday against UNLV, and UNLV brought everything that we expected that they were going to bring. They were going to play really solid defense. They were going to make the Lobos take points away from them, and that's exactly what the Lobos did. Yeah,
we played much more low error than we have against them in the past. We needed to. Another thing we talked about last week, but they always play low error. We were able to do some things that we wanted to do, make their setter play some balls, get them out of system. Their middles are very talented. Bree Hamill's as good a middle as there is in the conference, and we knew we couldn't stop her, so we wanted to minimize her touches. And she still had a great match, but we were able to hold that down and not let her get a crazy amount of kills by doing some smart things offensively and by serving better. And we started the match slow. First game we served very poorly. We won the game, but then we were able to get into it and get after it. But real similar kind of teams. We had to play well, had to be low error, had to get more output on the left side, which we did with Cassie and Devin. Both had good weekends. Cassie had a really good weekend. Mm-hmm. We've changed our lineup a little bit. As you know, Julia's moving around a little more. Julie and Cassie are doing some switch blocking, and I think all of that really helped in both of the matches, just keeping our opponents on their toes with moving Cassie around because she's probably our biggest blocker.
And it does have to be kind of tough. I mean, I know it's tough from your perspective that you kind of want to get things set and leave them there. But if I'm scouting your team, I have a hard time trying to figure out exactly how I want to set up to play against you.
Well, if you're scouting our team, you know that we've played about 20 different lineups,
right,
and that every kid in the lineup has played.
Right.
So the bigger question is probably which lineup's going to come to the match at you. And I think we've settled in a little bit on this one. We have some good subs if we need to make them, but I like what this lineup did a lot this weekend, and also in practice. Like I said, it all goes back to practice and training, and the training was really good this week. So hopefully it will continue, and that lineup will get better and better because, like you said before, I felt like we were playing good ball, the kind of ball we should be playing.
Right.
It was consistent, it was tough, and our numbers were a lot better.
What I saw, and I'm going to tell you that the game against UNLV is probably the most fun I've had at a game in a couple of years. It was just a blast to watch. I mean, there was bodies flying everywhere on both sides just to try and keep that ball in play.
Sure.
Neither team wanted to give up the point, and then we were winding up winning the game. So it doesn't get any better than that as a fan.
Yeah, for sure. And I know you're the announcer, so I know you're really unbiased up there. But and I know you always do a great job. But yeah, I see you get excited sometimes, and it's kind of funny because my parents were in town this weekend, as you know, and my dad says, "Oh, your announcer does such a great job all the time." And I said, "Oh, really?" Yeah, and he goes, "Yeah," and he's so biased, it's great. So that's what they appreciate, I guess.
Yeah, you know, I think I try to be generous to both sides.
I know you do.
But
I know you
you
do.
know where my loyalties lie, that's
Absolutely.
for sure. Cassie House had 16 kills in that game. Sky Gillette tied a career high 12 kills. She's got such a quick release of that trigger. We talked about it's like, when she goes up and is set for the quick. I don't know if you can call it a quick. It's like just a cue because it happens so fast the way she releases it.
And we spent a lot of time this week really working on getting her arm up faster and stuff, and we're going to continue to improve on that as well. But I think it really helped her put up good numbers. And then at the end of the Fresno State match, UNLV match, there was the overpass kill that was just made the place erupt. I mean, she put it on about the 5-foot line, and the whole place was standing. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, there were a lot of smiles throughout the course of that match, and that's exactly the kind of thing that we want to see. It's an indication that the team is playing loose and with a lot of confidence. So looking forward to what's coming up this upcoming week. Also want to talk about the fact that that UNLV game was the Dig Pink game.
Yeah, we had Elson had put that together, and our players had went out and collected donations for baskets and different things. We had a raffle for a iPad. We had and a number of other items, and then we had about 12 baskets that were raffled off, and then all the money went to the UNM Cancer Center. It was a great day. The kids and Allison wrapped the whole gym in pink, as you know, and it went really well, and we raised a lot of money for the Cancer Center. So it was a really good day. And something we do every year, and we're proud of.
Yeah, no, and you should be. It's a great event, and it does raise awareness of, if you don't know about it, you can't get working on a cure about it. So they've done a wonderful job around the country, and you guys in particular do a great job. The golf tournament to raise funding for beach volleyball, how'd that go?
Yeah, it was great. We were out yesterday out at Tanawan, and first year, our second year with the beach program, and we've still got to raise a lot of money to keep elevating the status of that. But had a great turnout, had about 50 golfers, and for the first time, and served them breakfast, sent them out with a shotgun start, and teams of 4 went really well. And then they came back in. We had a nice luncheon and a little auction that did really well for us. We were very thankful to all our participants. They really came out and got involved in the golf, but even more so in the fundraising and stuff for us. It was a really good day, really as good as we could have hoped for.
Nice. That's a beautiful thing. We're going to have a special segment today where we actually talk to your assistant coach, Pauline Manser, who also played here at the University of New Mexico and did some wonderful things, after she left school, and then you stole her back. But we'll talk to Pauline, and then you and I will get back on here, and we'll talk a little bit about Nevada and SDSU this week.
Yeah, no, we've gone back to our alumni section, and I thought it would be really appropriate if we had Pauline come in, since she is one of our most premier alums, and talk a little bit about why she's back and what she's doing and how it's going for her.
Nice, awesome. All right, and as promised, we're here with Pauline Manser, and Pauline, an alumni of the University of New Mexico and of the University of New Mexico Lobo volleyball team. 1988 to 1991, excuse me, your playing years. You actually graduated in 92.
I graduated in 92, yeah. And that was a few years ago, but a lot of the memories from that time still are very clear to me, yeah.
Your name is prominently displayed up on the wall in Johnson Center. It's one of those names that prior to me meeting you, I thought, that's pretty special. They set you aside up there, so I can't wait to meet her. And then you came in one day, and I believe it was the first alumni game that I got a chance to call, and I got a chance to interview you in between some of the games. And I was moved by the fact that, look, you're not coming over from Phoenix to come in and join the alumni game. You're coming from Australia to join the alumni game. So you've been around this program and hanging around for a while, but before we get to that, let's talk about the fact that you graduate college and then you go on and play in the Olympics. You played in beach volleyball in the Olympics.
Yeah, there was a few years where I was playing with our indoor national team home in Australia, did a professional season over in Europe, and thought my career would be about indoor volleyball, but towards the middle of the 90s, my knees started to break down a little bit, so I was looking at options to extend my career because I wasn't going to be able to survive playing indoor. So I thought I'd give beach volleyball a go. Started playing on the World Tour in 97 and fortunately qualified for Sydney Olympics, which was a fairly amazing experience.
That's awesome. So just because you brought that up, the hard floor obviously is going to be hard on your knees, but isn't trudging through that sand kind of brutal too, or is that more of a muscular issue?
It's definitely a muscular, brutal kind of fitness. Definitely felt absolutely at my fittest when I played on the beach circuit, and it's just, it is hard work. Just walk along the sand, walking down to the ocean is hard work for most people, and then you have to consider running, jumping, moving side to side, and doing that over a period of time in sometimes very extreme conditions. So you have to be extremely fit, but it was just much more softer on the joints, and I had to work really hard off the sand to make sure I managed my injuries, but it did help me get through to the Olympics, which was great.
I haven't met a ton of Olympians in my lifetime. It's a pretty close club, I'm sure. What's it feel like going and representing your country and playing in the Olympics?
Yeah, amazing. It's always been great to represent Australia when I played in the national team and on the World Tour, but I think especially when you get to play the Olympics in your home country, and for us there's not a lot of opportunities to play in front of a home crowd in Australia, so it was doubly special because that was probably it was the first time my family got to see me play international beach volleyball, and it was at the Olympics. And the stadium seats 10,000 people, and for our matches you could hear every single person cheering for us, which was amazing. And then my partner and I had actually played together here at UNM my senior year, so we had a big contingent of family that were sitting together at the Olympics as well. So yeah, it just made it really amazing. It was a spine-tingling feeling the whole time. I remember just before the opening ceremony, we went and watched one of the indoor volleyball games just to support the indoor crew. And I was there with some friends and some family, and we were sitting right down near the court side, and I was just looking at all the signage around the court, and it was, the 24th Olympiad, and I nudged my sister and said, "We're at the Olympics, this is amazing." And she goes, "Yeah, but you're playing in it." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right, I'm doing that too. This is great." So even just being there was really special. It was even more amazing to participate.
Yeah, incredible pinch me moment, I'm sure. You take your skill sets and you're living in Perth and you're doing youth development.
Yeah, so once I retired from beach volleyball, I pursued a career in youth development, did a bit of study, and then started working for a local council. But essentially through that whole time, I was investing a lot of time volunteering as a coach. I was coaching a lot of beach volleyball and indoor through the 10 years that I worked in youth development. And, you know, it's just a passion. I just have always loved volleyball, and I started coaching. My first coaching experience was back here in the summer camps, and I really enjoyed that and really enjoyed working with the younger athletes. So I knew even before I retired as a player that I would get into coaching, but there's not a lot of professional opportunities in Australia to coach. So I pursued a different career professionally and tried to get as much exposure to coaching volleyball as a volunteer. So that's what I did for a fairly long time.
Well, sand and on the hardwood, those two games translates nicely to what's going on here at the University of New Mexico. I mean, this year was the first year that we had a sand volleyball team or beach volleyball team.
Yeah.
And did that affect your decision to come out here?
Oh, it's definitely very attractive to get the opportunity to do both and work with athletes across both disciplines. I think each really helps develop an athlete in the other disciplines. So I know as a player, having played a lot of indoor, a lot of that skill transferred onto the beach. And then when I played a lot of beach, when I moved back to indoor, I really felt that helped me a lot. So I see there's a massive benefit in athletes doing both disciplines. And of course, the opportunity to come here and come back to Lobo land and actually give back to the program was, you know, I couldn't say no.
Yeah, and I know that this is something that's probably been on Jeff's mind for quite some time to get you over. It's a great get for us. It's a pleasure to have you out here. By the way, I was watching you warm up the team the other day. Your swing still looks absolutely flawless. You know, great contact you know, on the ball, and I don't hear any rust up in here.
There's not a lot going on in my shoulder, but yeah, it's a lot slower than it used to be, that's for sure.
Glad to have you here. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
You know, it is kind of fun to mix it up a little bit. I love talking to Jeff, but it was fun having you on the show here
A
today.
pleasure, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Pauline Manser, and look for her out at Johnson Center. Want you to come out anytime the Lobos are in town, and please pack Johnson Center. I guarantee you will enjoy yourself. It'll be a great time. The away games are all going to be streamed live. Go to golobos.com and look for that schedule. That's going to do it for us today.
Great, thank you.
Welcome back, Coach. Let's go ahead and get down to the business of the week. We're going to start off with the Nevada Wolfpack. 7:30 Mountain Time. For those of you that have been watching online, go to golobos.com and look for that link. What do we expect to see out of this team?
Well, Nevada, the first time we played them, really came at us hard. They're playing with more and more confidence. They have a first-year coach and really have stepped it up. Their outside hitters have had a couple big matches since they played us. We beat them 3-1 here, and I felt like we played good ball. I think that they served really well. They're leading the league in service aces, and that's what they're going to come at you with, is just a lot of aggressive stuff. And we have to manage that, keep our errors low, and just keep playing forward, and I think we'll be okay. But they really do. They have a good middle hitter in Sam Willoughby, a couple good outside hitters, and they've really elevated their play there this year from the past. So they're going to be aggressive. It's going to be tough to play them at home. Their record at home is very good. As is San Diego State's, and that seems to be the way the conference is right now. Everybody's winning at home and losing on the road. So we got to go out and capture some road wins here.
Key players, as you say, Willoughby certainly, and Madison Morell and Madison Foley. So
yeah.
the two Madisons, you got to watch for them.
Yeah.
260 and 230 kills each, respectively.
Exactly, and like I said, they've put up some big numbers. They upset Wyoming at home a couple weeks ago. They're capable of big things, and they just seem to be playing with more and more confidence every week. So we've really got to be on our game, and I think we're playing with a lot more confidence than we were even the first time we played them. So it could be a great matchup there.
The next game you'll play also in the Pacific time zone is SDSU at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah.
Again, golobos.com for the full schedule. Key players there, Deja Harris, and we remember Deja
Right.
Harris.
All too well.
And Emma, I believe it's Fusi, is
Fusi,
the way she pronounces her name. and Haley Jones is their setter.
Yeah, and Deja Harris really tore us up the first time. We played very poorly. They came in and played a great match. Like I said before, they're one of our teams that is always a grind, and I think our players will be really focused to get after it. They weren't happy about what happened the first time, and they shouldn't be, and we weren't playing good ball then. But San Diego State always gets up for us. Their record's not good, but they have a lot of good players. They're really big, so the block is big, and we've got to make sure, again, that we stay low error. I think if we get the ball past the block, we can win, but we've got to get the ball past the block and mix it around and be successful.
A great way of beating that, we watched Hannah Johnson do it. If she makes great decisions, and she does, it makes it really difficult for your opponent to get the two blockers up there. So usually you're just facing one.
Yeah, that's definitely the case, and we've got to slow Deja Harris down. She had a big match last time, but we've seen a few other players like her since then, and we've been able to manage it much better. And I think we'll be much more prepared this time than we were the first time around.
Well, we'd like nothing more than to see the Lobos go out, hit the Pacific time zone, and come back with 2 big wins this week.
Well, and it would be big. With the way the matches are in the conference this week, we could, if we could win 2, we could come back in second place and really have just made huge strides in the last couple of weeks. And that's what we've got to push for. And I think we can do it. I really have a lot of confidence in our team right now. I think that after really struggling for a couple of weeks, they found their way back and played good ball this week. And, we talked in the locker room afterwards on Saturday about how it felt, how good it felt, that it was low stress and it was good to win. And it wasn't a feeling of relief. It was joy, and they were really happy about it. And afterwards, they were all able to go to the football game together and see them get that exciting last second win, which I want to say congratulations to them and Coach Davies, because that was really awesome. And, all of that provides a boost. And there was just a lot of feel-good stuff about our teams and our department over the weekend with all the wins and the exciting wins and everything that was going on.
Yeah, the feeling I got looking at the team over this past weekend was it was a culmination. It really, this was the team that we know is there and can play. I'm going to let you go, but before I do, and the girls will probably kill me for saying this, is that something that I noticed over this weekend is that you got fired up. You look like Jeff, know, and you've been kind of calm. I mean, you've been really kind of mellow the beginning of the season. Sorry, girls, but I have to bring this up. And you got fired up on Thursday, and you got fired up on Saturday, and it seemed to translate into a positive response by the team.
Yeah, they are going to kill you for saying that. No, I think I don't know about that, but I definitely think there were a couple spots where, I just thought, okay, we got to get this right now. And but I think it was a great team effort. They got good information. JJ and Pauline do good scouting reports, and I think it just came together right. But I think the biggest thing is that we trained well. We had some time to train. It went really well. We worked on some new things and spent some time on defense. And I'm happy to say Victoria Sprague is cleared now. She's back. She's been out all season, and it's just nice to have her back doing things. And so there was just a lot of good things that happened, and I think our players really played for the team this weekend and are figuring out their roles and what they need to do to help us be successell.
Awesome. Best of luck as you guys travel this week. This may be my last show. After that last comment that I made, I might at least get my car keyed by the team. So until next time, folks, that's another edition of Holding Court with Coach Jeff Nelson.